So here's a quick video on squares, and you might be wondering why on earth I'm talking about squares, because I'm talking about square numbers. And let's take a look. The number 9 is a perfect square because it is 3 by 3, and so its area equals 3 times 3, which is really 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And if you count them, 1 square, 2 squares, 3 squares, 4 squares, 5 squares, 6 squares, 7 squares, 8 squares, 9 squares, which is why we get 9 square units. So I'm going to write 9 units squared. But there's another way to look at squares, which is actually really quite clever, and I really, really like this. If I drew 1 square, the area is 1. Now, if I were to draw 3 more squares, I now have 4, which is 2 squared. So maybe I should do this. 1 squared equals 1. But if I draw that square, I get 2 squared, which is 4. And if I continue on and I draw this, I continue, and obviously there's supposed to be squares, I get 3 squared, which is 9. Now you might not notice what's going on. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to add one more row / column and make this, and once again this is supposed to be these are supposed to be squares, and they're clearly not squares. I do apologize about that. Let's see if I can make that a little bit more squarish. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. This gives me 4 squared, which is 16. But what's really happening here? Take a look. Here I have 1. And then how many orange did I have? I had 3. And then how many green did I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's interesting. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 7. And so you can find squares by starting at 1 and adding all the consecutive odd numbers. So 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 5 is 9. Plus 7 is 16. And then, obviously, the next one would be, well, let's see. Should be 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Plus 9, and that would give me 25. Now I'm going to do one more way to check out squares by using Pascal's triangle. And this is one of my favorite things of all time. Pascal's triangle is just magical. So here I go. In order to do Pascal's triangle, you start at 1, and then it goes 1, 1, and then 1, 2, 1, because 1 plus 1 equals 2. And then I get 1, 3, 3, 1, because 1 goes down, then 1 and 2 equals 3, 2 and 1 equals 3, 1 and 1, but anyway. So let's see what I can do with this. Here is a perfect square, 1. And then here's a perfect square, 4. And then here's a perfect square, 9. And then here's a perfect square, 16. And then 25. And sure enough, if you continue down Pascal's triangle, 1, 7, 21, 35, 35, 21, 7, and 1, 15 and 21 equals 36, which is 6 squared. So that is one more type of square. There is one last thing I will say about squares, which I did in another video. Let me just check my time. I'm only at 4 minutes, so I'll show you this really quick. This was absolutely fantastic. One night I was thinking about the number 80, and like I said, I did this in another video, and I realized that the number 80 is really close to the number 81, which is 9 times 9, or 9 squared. So 81 is equal to 9 squared. And then I thought about the number 80, and I realized that the number 80 is 8 times 10. And I noticed I have 8, 10, and 9. So I thought, oh, well, that's kind of interesting. So then I thought about another number. I thought about 25. And I said, well, that's equal to 5 squared. So this was bigger than 5 or 9, or smaller than 9. This is bigger than 9. So I said, oh, well, what's 4 times 6? And I noticed that 4 times 6 is 24. So what I then realized was, I said, well, what if I said, let's call the number x. So if I had x minus 1, that's the number before x, and then the next number would be x plus 1. So if I squared x, I'd make it x squared. But that would mean that I'd have to multiply these two, which is x minus 1 times x plus 1. And you may remember the distributive property, or FOIL first, outer, inner, last, minus 1. And when I combine these, I get x squared minus 1, which means, now you might be saying, well, what on earth are you talking about? And that's perfectly fine. What this means is if you pick any 3 consecutive numbers, let's say 5, 6, 7, 5 times 7 will be 35, and 6 times 6 is 36. The middle number, the square of the middle number, will always be one more than the product of the 2 other numbers, the one above and the one below. So if you pick, let's try one more. Let's try 8. 8, 9, and 10. 9 times 9 is 81. 8 times 10 is 80. It still works. And the reason why this is kind of nice is, if I wanted to do something like 19 times 21, I know that 20 times 20 is 400, which means that this has to be 399. Anyway, that's just a little bit on square numbers. I hope you enjoyed it. That's all. Bye-bye.